Okay, Miss Joanfrances. Today, she's going to be speaking about, are you psychic or not? Do you know how you psychically tick? Do you know that there's no such word as psychically in the
dictionary?
In the dictionary. They don't know what the word psychically means, and I thought I misspelt it 10 times. Nope. So today she's going to be talking about how you're psychic or not, and then at 5:30 she's going to be in the playroom. And Joanfrances is from Scotland, and she has 31 years of experience as a psychic medium, mind navigational expert, speaker, past life surrogacy. She's been featured in numerous magazines, interviewed on radio. She does dream analysis. She is also an intuitive life coach, dimensional nucleus activator, DNA, dimensional nucleus activator. She does target remote viewing. She's a core color personality and consultant, does light language, light language consultant, Reiki master, hypnotherapist, firewalker instructor, paranormal investigator. I like to talk to you about that. She also holds private sessions, and she has a book that she's completing called Past Life Surrogacy, Cutting Edge of Karma. You can find her at joanfrances.com. Please enjoy her session for the next 25 minutes.
Hi, can I just first ask that Vicky lets me record this, because we're meant to record them.
We always record everything in the main room.
Yeah, it's just I can't record.
On the bottom of your screen, you hit the word recording.
No, it's telling me to ask the host to record.
Okay, Vicky?
Okay.
Yes.
Allow her to record, please.
Yes, she can allow. She can record at the bottom. Click on the record button. It says more.
Yeah,
next to more, it says
it's on. Either that or get the recording off this one. It's okay, doesn't matter. It's okay. Hi everybody. Some technical issues going on.
I think it's recording. Okay.
Fine. Okay. So hi. So my talk today is all about past lives, and one thing that I want to do to sort of get into that frame of mind of how it would actually work for yourself, even if you were in my position. So here's a position that I was in. Could you imagine going in for a shower, and then all of a sudden your entire life and your view of life completely changed whilst you were in the shower? Now, how many people can actually say that?
While you're in what? While you're in what?
While you're in the shower, having a shower.
Shower. Oh, the shower downloads. Shower downloads. I love my shower downloads. Yes.
Shower.
Yes.
Okay. Please just let me know if you don't understand my Scottish accent.
The shower. Okay.
I know. So that's exactly what happened to me, and this was about 27 years ago. And what I was given that day was that my birth vision, or not my birth vision, but I should say my life purpose process was basically to come into action. And I was given everything to do with, I saw it in a vision, I felt it, and I was given everything to do with past life surrogacy. Now, I am also a clinical hypnotherapist, and this is not past life regression. It has got nothing to do with hypnosis at all. This is where I connect my energy to yourself. I become your surrogate, and I actually relive that specific past life that is actually holding you back in this life. And that's what I want to talk about today, to let you understand, are you really living this life to the full effects of you in this life, or are you holding on to stuff that went on in a previous existence? In other words, your decision making, in particular the decision making at specific times in that past life. Now, we all know that past lives carry positive and negatives, and we've known that for many, many thousands of years. But did you actually know that you could be carrying misplaced karma as well? And misplaced karma for me is when you have taken on board the blame for something that you did not actually introduce to that situation. You didn't do it, it wasn't your actions, but yet you felt guilty enough to take that on board whilst you're still incarnate in the body. And I'll give you an example of that very quickly, because I know I want to get lots of things in this, this half hour here. So if you were in a past life and you made a decision at a point in time where something was happening and all of a sudden bad things happened, but then you took on board the blame for that and you thought, this was my fault, I asked them to come here, or I introduced that person to them, or I made the decision to take care of you on that particular journey, or I made the decision to, you know, go a walk that day and something bad happened and either people died or people were injured or something else happened. That can have the biggest impact in this side of life. Imagine you had two jigsaw pieces or two jigsaw puzzle boxes. And these two jigsaw puzzle boxes represent past life and the present life. And what happens, the metaphor here is that a piece or several pieces of the past life jigsaw stays with you and comes into the present day life. In other words, moves over to the new jigsaw puzzle of today's life. But those pieces keep the shape and picture of the past life. So when you try and fit them into this life, it ain't going to happen. It is just not going to be possible to fit a piece of another jigsaw into this jigsaw. And that's what happens with past life syndrome. Past life syndrome is where you are living the negative of the past. And I want you to think about your life for a moment while I'm talking about this. And think about all the positive things that you can actually do, because they are amazing. And we can bring so many wonderful experiences from the past life into the present day. It might be, you might think, oh, none of the rest of my family can sing or play music or an instrument of some kind, but you can. And everybody will say to you, I don't know where you got that from. And probably it came from the past life into this life. You might have lovely qualities of love and caring and sharing with other people. They are built up over many incarnations because you bring all of that good, yummy stuff, as I call it, into this life. And that's the big thing. You do bring all the yummy stuff. But unfortunately, sometimes the yummy, yummy good stuff gets shadowed because of the other negative stuff that comes along with that as well. And some of them can be where you might want to think about your life just for a moment as I'm speaking about this, as I say. And that is that maybe you have an ailment that can't be properly diagnosed. Maybe you've been to doctors and they say, can't find anything wrong with you. But yet you know, maybe you have a pain and that pain just doesn't go away, or it comes at certain points of your life and then goes away again. And these can all be parts of where the past life. Maybe you're carrying an ailment that's, that causes you to basically not be able to use the full function of your body. And again, these can be from, I mean, people can have things from birthmarks to specific scarring of the body. Sometimes it's even a freckle line, and that freckle line actually is the mimicking vibration of the injury that you actually had. In other words, it maps out in the body. And then, of course, we have the mental processes. And of course, the mental processes is that, please forgive me the way I tend to describe this, is that the thought process is the mental constipation, where you cannot think of anything good that's happening in your life because you're so busy focused on all the negatives that's going on in your life. In other words, that constipation, it just stops you, and it's toxic. And that toxicity in your mind then makes you think in a negative way. And you might say, I don't know why I think like this, because I've got all these good things going on in my life. So why do I keep thinking negative is going to happen? Well, this can be because you were mentally scarred in the past life because of the situation that actually took place. Now we could come to romance as well, and that brings in emotions, the power of love. So we have the power of love in many different forms. We have it as the love of parents, the love of a child, the romantic love, that what I term again is the yummy, yummy, the my Sheri, the kissy, kissy love that we all talk about. And of course, what stops us from making full commitments into any of these areas? And that's normally the biggest majority, and I'm not saying it's always, but the biggest majority is because you lost the dearest and nearest to you in the previous life. And that nearest and dearest to you, you took on board the blame. And that in this life, I've did thousands of these particular past life surrogacy sessions, and you see the most traumatic experiences take place. But I get to experience them because of my surrogacy side of it. But the trauma that is actually caused in this life, where a person may not enter into a relationship, they say, no, love is not for me, I'm better on my own. They don't know why, but that's the feeling that they have. 99.9% is because they felt the blame or the trauma was too much. Even watching someone else die, the pain of that was too much, so they don't enter into that experience. Or they were rejected in the past life, and that now makes them what I term as the hard exterior shell that they put on, and they say, no, I don't need love in my life, I'm okay, thanks very much. And again, it's because they are scared to love again in case they're rejected again. And then, of course, we move into the sibling love, the love of families. And again, there's so many times that family life breaks down simply because there's a rivalry from the past life in itself as well. So all of these, are the power of between the mental process, the emotional side of life, and of course the health and well-being, physical body side of it. And there's also the spiritual side. And a lot of people have wonderful gifts. They have brought so many gifts from their past life into their present, beautiful gifts, gifts that in a sense would knock your socks off if you experience them. Yet they are scared. Fear, as I call it, false energy, false evidence appearing real. False energy, there's another one, false energy appearing real. So that was a Freudian slip there, but that fits well. So, but the thing for me is that people can become so distracted because of past experiences that they are fearful to actually honor and bring forward their powerful gifts that they have maybe over hundreds of lifetimes built up over all these experiential lives to come into this life for a specific life of their past to stop them in their tracks in this life. I have seen that so many times, of where it's so sad because they say, I can't, I don't have the confidence, I'm really fearful. And you can actually see it in their face. It's written like the light language of the universe, it's written all over their face. And they think, and you're looking at their energy and saying, but you have these wonderful gifts. Why are you not using them? Oh, no, not me. No. No, I couldn't do any of that stuff. And they'll tell you, and you may have caught yourself doing this, you will tell the most amazing story of excuses. And you will give yourself the get out of jail free card all the time by telling whopper stories of, no, it's not your time, or, you know, you couldn't possibly do that. Other people do it better than you. You're not really suited to that. And they, in a sense, reject their own spiritual fulfillment of feeling whole because of an incident in a past life. And I have seen this so many times, as I say. But the wonderful thing about past life surrogacy is, I say, that half hour showering and being showered by the water, but being showered by knowledge and light energy. My energy was changed that day. And that day for me, I will look back with great admiration and blessings of thankfulness to God, the universe, my own higher self as well, for bringing it to my conscious attention. Because that day I never looked back. I have trusted within that space. And every time I do a past life surrogacy, it's not like hypnosis, like having the scripts and saying, right, this is what I'm going to do, and I'll lead the person into this, and I'll lead them into that, and I'll do deepening processes, we'll do a safe place, we'll do ego enhancing, we'll do basically amnesia in case they go into difficulty, we'll do this, we'll do that. It's not like that. I take 3 breaths, that's it. 3 breaths, and do you understand the trust I need to have to do that? It's explicit. And that's the powerful side of it. For me to trust that I am going to take those 3 breaths, I will connect, I will be back in that person's life, I will experience, it doesn't matter what happened, whatever the universe knows that you need to know in that specific life that is written in your book of life, that requires the restoration to be done that day, in that moment, in that hour. That's the life. We don't go sightseeing. We don't go, oh, let's find out what I was in a past life. No, we go to the specific life that is actually causing you trauma in this life. In other words, the life that is stopping you from fulfilling in this life. That's the power that past life surrogacy has. And the one thing that I always feel blessed about is that I am honoured to go back to your life, to rediscover the moments that can actually be changed instantly. And that's the powerful moment. And not only do we actually get to view those parts, experience them, because I do experience them. If you were in trauma pain, I will experience that moment. If you were emotionally upset, I will experience that moment. It doesn't harm me. You know, people will say, how do you experience that? Does that not hurt you? It doesn't, because my energy, I was actually born to do this. And that's the wonderful thing about it. And people say, well, what about all that trauma? The minute I am actually out of there, and even when I'm in there, it doesn't affect me. My energy was altered that day in the shower. As that water poured over me, so did the rays of the universe. And the transformation of my energy took place in that shower. And ever since then, I am able to do this. But here's the deal, that when we go back and we get that past life and we understand it, because the person then tells me why that life is connecting to their life today. And the most amazing things happen. And if you want to see one in full action, you can go straight to my website at www.joanfrances.com, Remember, Frances is spelt with an E, curvy for a lady, phallic for a man. And you will be able to see one full session in the video section. And you will see exactly what happens. And it wasn't filmed purposely for publication. Actually, afterwards, in conversation with the beautiful Colleen, she actually gave me permission to use her video. So do be warned, there is a caution that goes with it because nothing is held back. That's the one thing about past life surrogacy. But as I say, the beautiful thing about this is that when we go back and we get that information and we bring it forward into today, in other words, we bear witness to it, that's the beginning of the healing process and the restoration that takes place. But not only for you as the person, but also for everyone who was involved in the past life trauma. The perpetrators, if you were the person who instigated it, the forgiveness is yours. If it was somebody else, another person, it's forgiveness for them as well. No one comes away from that past life holding on to any blame or any trauma. Everything is restored back to a positive. And that's a beautiful thing about past life surrogacy. So I want you to understand this. Think about your life right now. And if you are actually in what we term as past life syndrome means that you're in a syndrome of life. In other words, you repeat the same pattern over and over and over again. It could be with different people, even a different situation, but the outcome always comes that you finish off being the worst out of everything. If you are in that syndrome, then you're carrying a vibration from the past. If you are fearful of entering into a relationship or completing something of greatness for yourself, you're in past life syndrome. You're living that destructive energy of your past life. You know, one of the things I tend to say to people is that, are you living a life of deception? Because if you are, you're actually because I should say, of your past life. That deception of the past life, the situation that you found yourself in, whether somebody else started it or not, that you finish up taking the blame, that's misplaced karma. Or maybe you did cause something, maybe you intentionally caused something. But this life that you are living today is a life of healing. That's why we're on this planet. That's why we journey, is to bring the self. And there's the power of self again today, is to bring the power of self back to being full of love and dedication and beautiful compassionate energy for your fellow man, for yourself, and for even the planet and all the universe and everything. Just imagine if you freed yourself today, and that's what I tend to say, is free yourself today. And or I should say free tomorrow today. It's my normal saying, is that when you free tomorrow, it means today you're actually home. And you're living a life of love and compassion, truly from your heart, your mind, body, and spirit, all united and being tenderly in love. If you want to, as I say, view it, you can go to my website, view it there. I have got a special price for show price. If you want to book today, you can have a private session to have a past life surrogacy reveal done. You can book it today at a show price, and that allows you then to book for a different day ahead. But you need to book today, okay? But again, if there's any questions, and I know that time is gone now, if you have any questions that you want to ask me, please come to my room 14, and I will be in room 14 for the next 15-20 minutes just to answer your questions on past life surrogacy. If you want to book a session, please go to room 2 or come with myself and we can get it sorted out. if you want to book one for another time, come to myself in room 2 and we can get that sorted for you as well. I'll give you all my details and everything else. I'm quite sure they're up there already. Probably Sheri or whoever is hosting the main room just now will probably be putting all that information up there. But I can actually get it up onto the chat line as well so that you can have it. But please remember, don't live in a life of past lives syndrome. Live a full life, and that means freeing yourself today. God bless. Namaste. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for listening. And I'll just pop off to room 14.
No, you're not going nowhere. I think
no.
I think you have a prize to give away.
Oh, I have, yes. Oh gosh, yes. We have a reading that you can have, a 30-minute reading. Well, I've got to pick a number, haven't we? I'm going to write my number. I'm hiding my number so nobody can see.
Okay, so everybody who's listening right now, if you want to win a 30-minute session with her, put in the chat 0 to 100. And she's going to write down a number, or she already wrote down a number. She's not looking because it's already pre-written. I had everyone pre-write it down. Write it down in the chat, a number.
You know, Sheri, if they're psychic, you should get this number.
Well, they know that. We got a lot of intuitives here, and we have some repeats, and they know how you guys operate. If they're smart, they would probably write down. It's like almost like doing lottery. Some of you guys pick the same numbers all the time. It's kind of funny. So I want you guys to write down in the chat. I'm going to do a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we're going to move on to the next speaker. You're going to get 30 minutes with her. What's the value?
The value is $79, and it's a 30-minute reading.
And this is not past life surrogacy. That's a whole different aspect.
No, it's actually a psychic reading.
A psychic reading. This is not.
You can either have a tarot reading, mediumistic reading. They can have a color life palette, mini color life palette, or they can whatever. Look at my bio and just look and ask me whatever you want.
Well, maybe can they possibly apply it to past life surrogacy reading?
They can, yes.
Okay.
I am prepared to do that. Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, cool. Okay, so what is your number?
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Will I show it?
5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. What is it?
72.
Abigail Poe. Oh, wow. Yay, Abby. You got it. You got 86.
Wow.
Girl, do you need that awesomeness? Abigail, you won.
Yay, hallelujah. Love it.
Fantastic.
Thank
Abigail.
you.
Awesome. So you guys, once you win a door prize, you cannot win and you cannot apply for another door prize. It's only one per event per person. Because sometimes people are winners and they tend to get 3 or 4, and we can't have that happen. We got to allow a little bit of love going around. So Abby, put down your information in the chat, or you can private message me or email, and I'll make sure that she gets it. And that way you got 30 minutes with Joanfrances. If she has time today, you can always go to room number 2 and talk to Angela and see if she has time to give you some guidance for the 30 minutes. Okay.
Okay, I'll go check it out.
By the way, Joanfrances, Abby has been one of my practitioners in the past, and I watched her come to my sound healing baths with baby in tow and baby in the belly, and she's still with me today, no matter where she is, and she's like a wannabe protege. She wants to do what I do, so please give her as much guidance as you can. Help her step in her power, okay?
Yeah,
she's a special one.
Oh,
okay. Beautiful. So Angela is done, and now we have I'm sorry, we have Joanfrances is done, and Angela is supposed to be in room number 1. Vicky, is she not around?
She's around in the room 1.
Is she available in room number 1 now?
Yes, she's available.
Okay, great.
I'll just pop into room 14 if anybody wants to ask any questions.
Correct. So Joanfrances is going to be available for 30 minutes for free for Q&A. So follow her right now to room number 14.
Fantastic. Thank you, everybody. Have a
Thank
wonderful
you.
day.
Awesome job.